So, a little late started. Sorry about that, but good information I wanted to pass on to you. So let's get settled in with our practice. So transitioning from all the stuff we were talking about into this present moment. Breathing in through the nose and out through an open mouth, keeping your eyes and ears and senses aware of what you got going on here in this present moment. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Coming to that place of stability. And then inviting the eyes to close as you just draw your awareness inward. I've arrived, I'm at my yoga practice. In this present moment, everything's okay. Taking a scan of your body to notice which parts you need to really be tender with today. Being fully aware of that beautiful back body, that core, the thing that keeps you upright, able to do all the fun stuff you love to do. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose as you deepen the breath, slow the breath down. And I just have this really fun poem to read by Mary Oliver, one of our very favorites, and it's called The World. And it's just really about the wonder of everything, even the cicadas, and just thinking back of our life in the past year and just the wonder of how it's changed, but how nature is pretty stable. I'd like to write a poem about the world that has in it nothing fancy, but it seemed impossible. Whatever the subject, the morning sun glimmers it. The tulip feels the heat and flaps its petals open and becomes a star. The ants bore into the peony bud, and there is a dark pinprick well of sweetness. As for the stones on the beach, forget it. Each one could be set in gold. So I tried with my eyes shut, but of course the birds were singing, and the aspen trees were shaking the sweetest music out of their leaves. And that was followed by, guess what? A momentous and beautiful silence, as it comes to all of us in little earfuls if we're not too hurried to hear it. As for spiders, how the dew hangs in their webs, even if they say nothing or seem to say nothing. So fancy is the world. Who knows? Maybe they sing. So fancy is the world. Who knows? Maybe the stars sing too, and the ants and the peonies and the warm stones. So happy to be where they are on the beach instead of being locked up in gold. So I invite you to practice today with just a sense of awe and wonder about all that is, just to fill the pot with positivity and goodness as it kind of just, it's like having a pot of water or a beautiful, say, ceramic, I don't know, I guess just a pot of water, and in it is all the stuff you don't want. But each positive, each beautiful, wondrous thing you throw in as a stone, it displaces that and dumps that water out. So eventually it's filled with just good stuff, right? I mean, there's always a little bit of other stuff you got to deal with, but just dropping more good stuff in and displacing the bad stuff. So I think it's a wonderful, wonderful place to be. Take a couple more lovely big breaths in through the nose and out through the nose, nice and deep. And bring your hands onto your belly. Take your awareness to your deep transverse abdominis muscle, not your surface muscles. And as you breathe in, feel that muscle and the mass of the belly press into the hands. And as you exhale, release that. And as you breathe in, the diaphragm attaches to the low ribs. So when you breathe in, feel the low ribs expand out to the side. So maybe a hand over to those low ribs. Feel the side ribs expand. As that diaphragm lowers, makes more space in your chest. And as you exhale, just a releasing of all that. As you breathe in, the belly softens and rounds, the side ribs expand, Create that expansiveness. And then as you exhale, draw those ribs in and toward each other and gently bring the belly in towards the spine. So you've got this nice, firm tone in the belly. So will you be using that image of the side ribs expanding? And then as you exhale, the ribs, I'm going to call it knitting toward each other. Imagine there's a drawstring or a corset string pulling those ribs toward each other and the belly drawing in. So you create that lovely tone. And then a little upper lift of the lower belly. All right, so with that awareness, extend your legs nice and long. Give those legs a massage as you need them. Rock them side to side, take them wide. And then just a quickie foot massage. So let's bring that right leg up to your thigh and just start to massage the foot a little bit. The feet are the foundation. So if the feet are out of whack, the knees get out of whack. If the knees are out of whack, the hip gets out of whack. And then that just throws everything off with the core. So get these feet in the foundation of the feet. Give the toes a little twist and a pull. Really massage that plantar fascia and the heel and the top of the bones. So I like to take my fingers across the top of my foot and draw the top of the foot and arch it toward the bottom of the foot. Feel those bones, get into those bones. Take your hand on top of the foot and draw the toes toward you. So you're stretching across the top of the front of the ankle. And then flex the foot, start with that first stretch of the Achilles tendon, give it a little massage, a little rub. Slap it. Circulation going, wake up all those neurons, nerve cells, give it a tap and pound it. Lift that leg up, give it a gentle shake, and then see if you can't rock that leg back and forth a bit. Nice. Open up. Notice what you notice about the hip. All right. Well, let's go to the other side. A little twinkle toes here and massage the other side. Now I can still feel some nice sensation in that foot I already worked. Oh, good thing to do when you're sitting around watching TV. Just give those feet a little love from all they did for you from the day. Give a tug and a pull. And then really massage the top of the foot. Pull the top of the foot away and toward the bottom of the foot. Good. Draw the toes towards you to stretch across the top and the front of the ankle. And this is a stretch you won't get unless you do it. So that the top of the foot gets really tight, can pull on the toes, pull the toes toward you, and it's really tight. So that's a good thing to do every day if you can remember. And then flex the foot, stretch the Achilles. Give it a clap and a drum roll. And pound it. Notice if you have any tenderness. Pick it up, give it a little shake. And a rock. Nice. Okay, let's place our hands back behind us and lift the feet up, lift the knees up and lift the toes up. The feet are a nice wide distance apart, so about mat distance apart, and start to rock the knees slowly side to side. But remember to keep the feet really flexed to help support the knees. And take your time with this. So the biggest thing about low back pain, unless it's structural, like a disc or herniation, bulging, spondylothosis, where your canal is really squishy, really small, keep the knees up and just take the left knee in the direction of the right ankle. So the right knee is still pointed up. Lift and spread those toes, press the hands into the earth and lift your heart up. So with those things, then you have to, be super mindful and careful about what you do. But the most important thing is always remember to engage before you lift. That's when we just like bend over and pick something up and we don't do it mindfully. So that's where yoga comes in. Draw the belly in, knit those ribs together, hinge forward with bent knees and pick the thing up. All right, let's go the other way. Take that. The left knee is going to point up, right ankle is going to come toward the left knee. Also, the lifestyle choices that you make. I'm almost sure none of you are smokers, but that's one of the things to avoid. And your healthy eating, your healthy movement, keeping moving, move, move, move. Don't sit. The prescription, this prescription that I used to give people is on a little prescription pad, pretend, is get up and move every 30 minutes. That's probably one of the best things you can do. All right, knees in and out together. Okay. Now with your knee still bent and you're still on your heels, bring your hands back behind you. And we're going to come to a little seated happy baby with cat cow. So press the hands into the backs of the thighs and use that to lengthen your spine. Roll your shoulders up and back, lift your heart gently forward. Now take the awareness to your lower back. Don't crunch it. Don't crunch it. So hinge forward a little bit and lift up through your heart space. And then draw the chin to the chest, round your back body, create that C with your body. See that, feel that stretch across your whole back body and the shoulder blades spread. Inhale, lengthen your spine tall. If you have lower back pain, just kind of maintain this position with the support of your hands on your legs, but then just lift up from your heart space. Take the eye gaze up slightly, and then 2 or 3 more with the breath as you exhale round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Last one, exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Good. And come back to neutral. Bring the soles of your feet together. Soles of your feet together in a diamond pose. So we're not in Baddha Konasana, we're in diamond pose, okay? If you need the blocks to support your thighs, you can place the blocks under your thighs to add a little bit of comfort. And here's something Doug Keller was teaching us about. So actually move the blocks for a second. When you take your feet together, press them in gently. Just notice what you notice about the integrity of the inner thigh and outer thigh. But then open the soles of your feet away from each other. So just the pinky toe sides are together. So open the soles of the feet. And what happens is it invites a little bit of more natural plugging in of the head of the leg bone into that pelvis. So it just naturally opens up your legs down slightly. So he says. So lift those feet back up and then open the feet back out and just notice the difference. And you may want to stay like that. All right. Hands back behind you to help you lift up through the spine. See if you can get tall. And then draw that belly in. Use your TA. How do we find that? Maybe a queen's cough. When you cough, the muscle bounces into the hand. Hold on to that. And then see if you can let go of the hands and maintain that elegance and integrity of the spine. Reach the arms up overhead. Maintain that nice long spine. And if you found your rounding, go grab another blanket or a pillow. Full breath in here, first with length, and then lower left hand down, fingertips on the earth, so shoulder is soft, and then gently crescent over. So you really want to root down through that right side, crescent over toward the left. That's not feeling good on the shoulder. The palm is facing forward or towards your ear. Good. Now lift back up, use your side body muscles to lift back up, reach the arm back overhead, draw that belly in again, gently twist towards the left and bring your hand down towards your left knee. Soften the shoulders and sweep your left hand back behind you just a bit. Head and neck stay in alignment. Good. All right, when you're ready, take a breath in as best you can. As you exhale, knit those ribs together, draw the belly in, lengthen up through your spine. As you reach the arms up overhead, twist back to center. Full breath in. As you exhale, lower right hand down and crescent over towards that right side. So we're really stretching out through the side body muscles and a little bit of lateral movement in that spine. It's really good to get the spine to move in all directions. We do this every single practice, you know that, to get the spine to move in all its directions it's intended to move. All right, one more breath. Use your side body muscles less than your hand if you can to lift back up. Full breath in. As you exhale, knit those ribs, draw the belly in, gently twist towards the right as you lower your hand down to your right knee. Sweep the left hand, the right hand back behind you. Good. This twist should be long, your spine should be tall. Beautiful. And then lengthen back up and come back to center. All right, here's another Doug Keller. I tell you when I am honoring his practice and his teaching. So take your block, hopefully you have your block nearby, and place it between the soles of your feet. Yeah, perfect, Barbara. Just put it on the floor between your feet. Good. All right, now what you want to do is pretend that your feet are that your feet and your blocks are magnets. All right, so they're stuck together. While at the same time, you're going to try to point your knees out to the diagonal front. So you want to keep the feet connected to the block, but then isometrically pull your legs out to the diagonal, as if somebody's got a string on your knees and they're pulling them out. And you're going to feel the whole inner thigh pelvic region start to engage. All right, so lengthen out through that, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. This takes a lot of work and energy, right? And then release that, pull, and notice the difference. So sometimes we just sit in Baddha Konasana, sort of like this, but let's try that again. So the feet are magnetized to the block. Nice full breath in, core is engaged, and then somebody's pulling that string on your knees, pulling, pulling, pulling. You're feeling that whole pelvic region, especially the psoas muscle that connects the legs to the trunk. You're feeling that tone and engage just a bit. If you need your hands back behind you to support your spine, feel free to do that so you can focus on that psoas. Another breath here. Good, and release. Now, if you choose and you want to try this, it says rather than pull your legs towards your hips, if this is a big enough stretch for you, maintain that. But if you want to, it says lift and shift. So you push your hands back behind you and shift your hips toward your feet. You're going to probably slide off your blanket. Keep your hands back behind you. And then see if you can't get a little more opening in that pelvis. Let's take another breath or two. This is a big stretch. Good. All right, and then soften that. Take your hands to the sides and the knees. Lift your legs back up like, and let's move the block. And we shall shake our legs out into Dandasana pose. So Barbara, sit in seated mountain pose. What we're looking for is that beautiful integrity of the spine. So start by putting your hands back behind you and use that to help lengthen your spine. And try to make your body an L, if that seems reasonable. You may have to plug the head of your leg bone in and shift your gift a little bit so your sitting bones are really rooted. So the hands are offering a little bit of support. We're using the strength of the core to keep us in this posture. So see if you can now press the legs down into the earth as if you're trying to squish grapes under your legs, and then draw the toes towards your nose. This is a hamstring stretch here too. And then with that core, find your TA, knit the ribs together, lengthen the spine up, and see if you can maintain that and take your hands and place them on your thighs. Now, if you had a little collapse, then just keep your hands there or press against a wall to give you some support. But this in and of itself is a super core strengthener. It's very hard to do. And if you have a weak core, you're not going to be able to sit up like this. So just doing this a few times a day will help to start build that strength. All right, twinkle your toes, circle your ankles. Point and flex, really try to draw those toes towards the floor, get that stretch across the top of the foot. Okay, now, hands under the thighs, bend the knees just a bit. Now press your hands back behind you again. We want to lengthen the spine, knees are bent, on the heels, toes are up. Hinge forward just a smidge, all right, because you don't know what's coming yet. Hinge forward just a smidge, and then slowly, without changing your torso or your spine, start to slide the heels forward really slowly. So this is just go as far as you don't feel. And oh, be careful with that hamstring. No forcing that hamstring, Katie. Okay. So you might be doing here what your PT wanted you to do. All right, so you're hinged forward a little bit, getting that stretch in the hamstring. Pause here for a moment. These are one of those stretches that you have to do slowly and let the body get used to it. You may need to soften your toes down so it's not as intense. All right, let's try that one more time. So lift straight back up, find that integrity of your spine, engage the core. Slide the heels up, lengthen again, hinge forward, pressing the hands back behind you. So I'm pressing my torso forward slightly, supporting my back with my hands, and then slowly, only as far as your body says, yep, that's okay. When it says stop, then you need to pause, all right? Let it get used to where you are, and then maybe they'll hinge forward, they'll slide down just a little bit more. Use your breath. Ujjayi breath here is a really good breath to do. Breathe in through the nose and out through Ujjayi through slightly constricted. Each breath in, maybe hinging forward just a tiny bit more. Good. All right, release that. Hands come back to the backs of the knees, bend the knees. All right, and I'm going to go sideways because we're going to try this boat pose here. All right, so there's lots of ways to do it. Number one way, I can't turn my fingers pointing forward. It doesn't feel good on my wrist. So turn your, if you can do that, but keep your elbows bent, roll the shoulders back, but it doesn't feel good on me. So I turn my hands out a little bit. So roll the shoulders back and keep those heels lifted and hinge back. So this is boat pose number one. We're just lifting the heart, engaging that core. And then you can choose if you want to lift one shin up, see if it can come to parallel with the floor, and then the other. All right, another option would be hands coming under the thighs, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart forward. I find this a little bit easier, a little bit more supportive. So we're just trying different things, lifting one foot at a time. Now try opposite arm leg. All right, keep that core. If you don't keep your core engaged, then you're not going to work the core and you're going to use too much of your hip flexors. Now, can you try both sides? So full breath in as you exhale, draw those ribs in toward each other. Same side. And again, same side. And you can keep doing that. Some of you may want to lift both feet up. And my hip flexors are shot because I did nothing but doing them. So this is really hard for me today. All right. It's like too much hip flexor stuff in the last 2 or 3 days. So I can really feel it. Instead of getting stronger, they're worn out. So that's okay. All right, let's see where we are. Oh, do what you need to do to undo that. All right, let's come to tabletop for just a little bit, okay? So you can't really do too much core strengthening without adding tabletop to it. Now your options for tabletop, if your wrists are having a hard time, I really want you to think about using the blocks for your wrists so you can rest your forearms on it, okay? So let's meet in cat-cow. So we can do cat-cow standing using the chair, using the seat of the chair or the back of the chair, placing your hands on the seat or the back of the chair. And then just with the knees slightly bent if you're standing, tuck the chin, round those back ribs up, tailbone lowers. And as you inhale, sink the belly, lift the head, lift the heart gently. Just a few of these. These are the things that are going to warm your back muscles up. Really good posture to do, especially if you have that low back pain without arching the back too much. So it's really lifting those back ribs up and then sinking that belly in and lifting from the thoracic spine, broadening out through your collarbones. And when you go into cat, don't forget to draw that belly in, keep the core strong, knit the ribs together. And as you inhale, just release that. So we're contracting and relaxing those belly. One more time, exhale, round those back ribs up. And inhale, sink the belly, lift the head, lift the heart. All right. Now shift your weight over to the right just a tiny bit. And we're going to see if we can't lift that left knee up just a 1/4 of an inch, just enough to pass a piece of paper under it. All right. Did you notice your core fire up?
Shift to the other side, draw that belly in and up. So front body goes to back body, and then shift and lift the other knee up just a quarter. Now your options are to do that same thing again or curl the toes under, draw that belly in and up. So you're really pressing the hands into the earth, right? Bringing the front body to the back body, and then lifting both knees up at the same time, just a smidge, just a smidge. It's not a downward dog. We're working the core here. Hold it, hold it, hold it. That simple little movement, but it really, you feel that in your ribs and all the way around the center of the core. The core involves the back, the sides, the obliques, everything, right? The ligaments, the tendons, the bones. All right, now shift your weight back just a little bit. Now here's your options, okay? Hands on the thighs, engaging the core. So full breath in. As you exhale, knit the ribs together, draw the belly in, and press the hands into the thighs to come back up to sitting or standing on the knees. And then as you exhale, shift back down, hands on the thighs, and come back to your tabletop. Now the option is to continue doing that, or shift your hips back a bit, draw that belly in, use your core strength, and then reach your arms forward and slowly lift back up onto your knees. Reach the arms up overhead, stretch the belly muscles, and then shift your weight back again and slowly lower the arms down. So if you have this lower back pain tweaking in your lower back, you're going to use the support of your hands. We're going to do that 2 more times. So shift the hips back, engage that core, use your hands on your thighs or reach the arms in front of you and overhead. And as you exhale, start to shift the hips back again. Keep the spine straight and long, head and neck in alignment, hands back to the floor, return to table. Last time, full breath in. As you exhale, draw the belly in, knit the ribs together and shift the hips back. As you inhale, use that strength of the core to lift yourself back up. And then exhale, knit the ribs together. Use that exhale to really draw that belly in toward the spine. And come back. Beautiful. All right, walk your hands a couple paw prints forward and come into your puppy pose. So bring the head in between the upper arms as much as your shoulders are open. Keep the hips reaching up toward the ceiling. And just find that nice stretch in your shoulders and back, and rotate your ankles here. Now those toes were curled under a bit, so get a little movement in those toes. Nice. Okay, full breath in. As you exhale, walk your hands a paw print back toward your mat. Lift back up into a broad tabletop now, an uneven table. Lift your knees, your feet up, and you're going to roll over the tops of your knees. You may need to adjust your hands into low planks. So now you've got your, oops, I'm coming out of the screen. All right. Press your hands into the earth. Slide your shoulder blades down your side ribs. Use that breath as your exhalation to really pull the belly in. Gently draw it in and knit the ribs together. Now, if that's too much on the wrist, shift back, come onto your forearms, walk them forward a little bit. Make sure that the shoulders are right under the elbows. You may need to adjust those elbows and do a forearm plank. All right, one more breath here, a little breath. And then your options, and we're going to do that 2 more times, is to curl the toes under and lift the knees up off the earth into a full plank, trying to keep that body nice and straight. Press back through the heels of the feet if you can, get a little stretch in those, or stay on the knees. That's a really good place to be too. And press back, last one, full breath in. As you exhale, engage that core, engage, engage, engage. Lift over, roll over the tops of your knees if you're on your knees. If you choose, you can curl the toes under, lift the knees up off the earth. One more breath. Good job. Notice how teacher stopped. All right, good. And then go ahead. Those of you who think you can get on your belly, lie on your belly with your forehead on your hands, or if you're not getting on your belly, roll on your back. Okay, I'm going to show those who are on their back. I know some of you just hate being on your back, on your belly, or can't for whatever reason. You're going to do opposite arm leg movements. You're just going to go in, start in constructive rest and reach opposite arm leg overhead. All right. Or straight to the edge of the mat. Keep your core engaged. If you're having any pain in your lower back and you want to put some type of pillow or cushion under your hips, that will create a little bit of flexion so you're not arching your back. And that might feel better for you. So adjust as needed. All right. Your forehead is resting on your hands, and just bend your knees and rock your knees side to side. This releases the lower spine. Opposite arm leg movement, slowly. Get that core engaged really slowly. Good. All right, then lower the legs down if you're on your belly. Point your toes. Lift, lengthen, and lower each leg to make space in your lower back. So lift it up just an inch or two. Reach the toes back and away. All right, and then draw them toward each other. We're going to come to Superman. So reach your arms out in front of you. Take a full breath in, draw that belly in and up, press the pubis down into the earth, and lift opposite arm leg just a couple inches off the floor. Lower that back down and switch. Now your options are to keep switching back and forth, or if you want, press the pubis into the earth, lift both feet, and maybe both hands for just a little bit of lift. Doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Play with what you know to be true about your back. Honor your body. And this is something you want to start to build up to doing 10 to 15 times, a couple times a week if you can. All right, so release in this Superman opposite arm leg, or lift the head, just head only, just feet only, or head and feet. I can be progressive, or you can be progressive with yourself. Try it for another 3 or 4 breaths. Those of you who are on your back doing a great job lifting and lowering, don't wear yourself out. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your side. You're gonna give yourself a little fetal position. So round your back body, curl into your spine to reverse that. And then when you feel ready, slowly sit up. And we are going to come to standing, nice and easy, okay? So don't pop up right away. Let your blood pressure equilibrate. When you are ready, come to standing. Everybody doing okay? Thumbs up, thumbs down? I don't want to get any fingers, right? Okay, clear your mat when you do come to stand up. I forgot to turn my light on. Okie doke. All right. So find that beautiful mountain pose. All right, and actually let's do loose coat sleeves while everybody's still getting up. Do a little loose coat sleeves. I need to get my weights real quick. All right. Let's do some pranam, stretch out our back. So get your blocks placed in front of you here. And we'll just stretch out that lower back. You're gonna bend your knees a lot. Place your belly on your thighs to just support the weight of the torso. And then we'll slowly straighten and bend the knees. So that's what we're gonna be getting into. So find mountain pose. Mound of the big toe. Mound of the little toe. Outside edges of the heels. And if you can think of drawing a diagonal line from the mound of the big toe to the outside heel, you're going to feel something happen in your legs. You're going to feel them just kind of fire up, especially on the outside, little external rotation. And then slowly lower your toes back down.
Lengthen your tailbone toward the floor. Gently draw the belly in. Take a nice breath in, and as you exhale, bring the ribs toward each other. Feel the core be strong. You may even feel it in your back by now. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead without arching your back. So see what happens when you reach your arms up overhead. Can you maintain that same integrity of your spine? Full breath in here. As you exhale, hinge forward, hands on thighs, legs, shins, or blocks. Pause here for a moment as you just luxuriate in the stretch of the whole back body. Bend your knees a lot. Let your belly rest on your thighs. Feel your breath press into your thighs. And while you're doing this, reach long from the pelvic and the sitting bones to the crown of the head. So try to stretch that space between the pelvic bones, the sitting bones, and the crown of the head. So try to get a little bit longer in your spine. Good. Keep that core strong and slowly start to press the backs of the thigh bones away from you as you straighten the knees just a little bit, but not if it interrupts your nice, beautiful, long spine. Breath in, and as you exhale, bend the knees a lot. Rest your belly on the thighs. Get long from the pelvis bones to the crown of the head. And then as you inhale, straighten the knees. Exhale, bend. One more time. Inhale, straighten. What we're doing is just pressing the backs of the thigh bones away from you. And then as you exhale, bring those knees back bent again. Press hands onto the thighs and use that to press up to standing. Lengthen the spine, arms up overhead, palms together, and hands down to the heart. Good. Okay. Let's place those hands on the hips, and take a fairly moderate stance into goddess. So the feet are pointed out 45 degrees. They may be mat width apart or a little bit further. Get that tailbone lengthened, engage your core. Full breath in, and as you exhale, bend the knees, tracking the knees over the feet. Just look down and make sure your knees aren't drawn in, that you can use those nice open inner thighs to take those knees out to the side. Good. Sweep the arms out to the side and come up to goddess pose. So roll the shoulders back, palms face forward. Now with a real strong core, can you tip over to the side, bringing left elbow near left thigh. Use that core strength, lift back up, go the other direction. And again, inhale and exhale. Breathe in. One more time each way, breathe out. In and out. Good. And straighten the front knees. Lower the arms down, roll the shoulders out. And this time when we go into goddess, I'm going to bend those knees. Hands are going to be on the thighs. We're going to hinge forward with a nice straight spine. Bring right shoulder to left knee, stretch across the back QL. Back to center, other way. Back to center and lift back up. Feel that release. Last time, bend the knees, track over the feet, hands on the thighs, hinge forward. And if your back feels like it can handle it, draw that belly in and up, front body to the back body, sweep the arms down, gather, and then reach the arms out overhead, straighten the knees. Just release. Gather, so hinge forward, bend the knees, gather and sew. Exhale with your gather. So when you exhale, draw that belly in and up. Inhale, gather all that's good. Exhale and inhale, reach up overhead, palms together and hands down to the heart. Heel toe, walk your feet toward each other. Shake your feet out. All right, let's grab your weights. Weights are always so good for core strengthening. So you can sit down and do this if you prefer. All right, we're just going to start with a little bit of bicep curls. All right, along with shifting the weight to the heels of the feet, bending the knees and sinking into a little chair. And as you straighten the arms, straighten the legs. Okay. The other option is keep that core really strong as you bend those knees. So don't want to let go of the core and put it all in the legs. Now let's do a few with the arms out to the sides, slightly at a 45-degree angle. Let's do a few like that. One, and last one. Good. Lower the arms down, roll the shoulders out. Turn the palms facing behind you and step back to the back end of your mat. And so we're going to step forward as warriors. So those left toes are going to turn 45 degrees. Step your right foot forward in warrior pose. Nice wide base of support. Going to hinge forward a bit so you're not arching your lower back. So again, support with the core strength. Everything you do like this requires core strength. So roll the shoulders back and even requires more core strength as you press your arms back behind you, head and neck are in alignment. So press back and release, back and release, back and release. Keep the breath moving. Nice flow of breath. Ujjayi breath is always a good option. Isometrically slide your front shin forward. Squeeze your back glute. 2 more. Feel those beautiful legs working and step forward. And we'll go to the other side. So now those right toes turn out 45 degrees. Step the left foot forward. Slight bend to that knee. Roll the shoulders back. Hinge forward just a bit and press those weights away from you. What happened to your core? You keep that nice and strong. Just using your core will strengthen it. Your everyday stuff. And if you could just remember to be mindful to engage before lifting, engage before sitting up. 2 more. And 2. Good. And step that back foot forward. All righty. So a little Peloton work here. So we're going to reach our thumbs facing the midline. Reach your arms a little lower than shoulder height forward. Bring the thumbs onto the shoulders and lift the elbows up toward the sky. Reach the arms long overhead. I'm going to bend down so you can see. And then just bend and straighten for triceps press. Already worked out. What happened? Are you arching back, or can you really have the core support this weight overhead? So we really have to strengthen through the core. Now slowly, core, 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 core. Lower the arms down. Bend the elbows, sweep them back behind you. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Keep that core working. As the arms come forward, you're going to feel that work in your core. Bring the elbows back, shoulder blades toward each other. Press forward and press back. Good. Lower the arms down 1 more time. With that belly drawn in, ribs knit together, lift the arms a little lower than shoulder height. Thumbs to the shoulders, lift the elbows up toward the sky. Make sure you're not arching your back, so create that integrity of the trunk. And lift and lower those weights. Don't crunch your head. Good. 1 more. Slowly get the core engaged first. Lower the arms down. Bend at the elbows. Squeeze back. Press forward. Squeeze back. Press forward. Squeeze back. Press forward. Squeeze back. Lower the arms down. Beautiful. Good. Getting good at that one. Let's set the weights down for now. All right, and get your balance prop, okay, whatever that might be. A chair, or, and we're going to put it on, I've got it on my left side here. All right. So wall, chair, kitchen counter, sofa. All right, so shift your weight towards your balance prop. Really root that standing leg down strongly. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, draw the ribs toward each other, belly gently draws in. Use that core strength to peel the opposite foot up off the floor into a high march. And then see if you can lift it up a little higher, a little higher, a little higher. Extend the leg long in front of you. One more lift, knee lift up to the chest and lower the foot down. Shake it out. I'm going to try that again. All right, so breath in, as you exhale, draw those ribs in, gentle tone of the core. Shift your weight to the standing leg, peel the other foot off, lift up, lift up, lift up, extend the leg long, bring the knee back toward the chest, and lower the foot down. Woo, shake it out. All right, just turn around or shift your chair, whatever works better for you. Do the other side. All right, shift the weight, root down, establish your core, hold breath in. As you exhale, draw that belly in, slowly peel the foot up and up and up, noticing if one side feels a little heavier than the other. Extend the leg long, bring the knee back in towards the chest, and slowly lower that leg down. We're just noticing if there are any imbalances. Last time, shift the weight, draw the big breath in, engage that core before we lift. Lift up and up and up. Extend long. Bend that knee back in toward the chest, a little more, and lower that back down. Nice, shake it out. Okay, we're not doing a lot of standing poses today because there's so much to do still with our psoas and our core. So that was a quick stand. Now we're going to come back onto our backs in supine, and I don't think anyone will complain, right? So come onto your back. Oh shoot, I did it again. Oh. All right, come into constructive pose, constructive rest pose, and just take a moment to notice. Notice where you feel a release. Notice where your body might have been holding on to tension. And see if you can just use the breath to soften the lower back. Take it to those spaces. And then when you take a breath in and you feel those side ribs expand, then that belly kind of lift up a bit. Use your exhalation to really take that breath. Use that breath to draw the ribs toward each other, a gentle toning of the belly, and feel that breath go all the way down your waist. When you tone the front part, you can release the back part. Okay, it's just like a bicep tricep. When you contract your bicep, your tricep has to release, and vice versa. So contract this front, all right, and feel if you can notice a little release in the back. All right, now this is where your concentration comes in. I'm going to do a little psoas releasing here and toning. So first, take a breath. It's breath work too. So take a breath in. Allow the ribs to expand, the belly to expand. And as you exhale, knit the ribs together, tone the belly, and slowly start to slide the right foot slowly down to the short end of the mat. All right, flex the foot, keep the tone in the leg. Keep reaching long with that heel, so much so that you feel a little engagement in the inner thigh, because the psoas attaches from the lower back to the inner thigh. So feel that, see if you can't draw that awareness there. All right, now release that, relax. Notice the difference. All right, full breath in. As you exhale, knit the ribs, tone the belly, and slide the heel back up. This is slow, methodical work. All right, next breath. Breathe in, exhale, draw ribs, belly tones, slide the left leg down to the short end of the mat. Lengthen out through that left leg, hip, toes, and knees all facing forward. Try to feel that integrity in the inner thigh. Really pressing out through the heel. Keep the leg engaged. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, release that. Feel the difference. Another breath in. Ribs expand. And then as you exhale,
Pull the ribs together, slide the heel back towards center. Good. All right. And release. We're going to do that again, but we're going to add a toning aspect to the psoas. So I'm just going to breathe in, draw the ribs toward each other, tone the core, slide the right leg down, keep it toned. Do a slight external rotation. So if the toes are pointing at 12, slowly turn them with the top of the leg bone toward 1. Keep that tone in the belly and slowly lift and lower the leg just a few inches off the earth. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. And this is you're gonna feel some heat build up in that hip flexor region, tightness in the groin area. Lift and lower, lift and lower. One more, lift and lower. Now rotate it back toward neutral. Full breath in. As you exhale, tone again and slide the foot back. See how we're getting into a habit of before we do movement, we tone. All right, let's do the other side. Inhale, exhale, tone, extend that left leg. Keep it extended. Press out through the heel, feel the tone in the inner thigh. From the top of the leg bone, externally rotate slightly. All right, now take another breath to re-engage. As you exhale, tone the core and start to lift and lower just a few inches. Very subtle movement. If you notice, what you're supposed to pay attention here is imbalances. If one leg feels light and airy like a cloud and the other one feels like a ton of bricks, you've got some last one. Imbalances. Full breath in, tone again, bring the toes facing toward the 12 and bend that knee back up. You have your block nearby? Can you place your block? Can you place your block between your feet and ankles? So it's tall and it's between the feet and ankles, all right? And if you can, lower your legs long. If that doesn't feel good, don't do this part, okay? What you want to do is, again, like a magnet, you want to press your heels and feet into the earth. If this does not feel good, keep your knees bent. You can do the same thing, all right? Just press the feet and heel. So when you're pressing the feet and ankles into the block, you're feeling that tone in the inner thigh especially. All right, take a breath in. And as you exhale, squeeze the ribs toward each other, bring some tone into the belly. Arms are down by your side, nose is pointing toward the ceiling. With that tone in your core, you're going to slowly start to reach the arms up overhead, very slowly. Keep the core engaged. And we want to try to get the arms to go, if they can't go overhead, take them out to the side, but get them overhead and try to get the thumbs to touch the floor at the same time without arching your back. So maintain that natural curve of your spine, maintain those ribs knit together, the belly drawn in slightly. Now, what happened? Did one arm reach way before the other? What normally will happen if you have imbalances is your opposite foot, you'll feel a shift. So if the right arm wasn't wanting to come all the way down, you might feel the left, left foot slide up. So try to maintain that nice integrity and bring those fingertips back up towards the ceiling. Keep the core engaged. This should be work. This is not just walking through the park here. And then release that. Just notice a difference. I'm just going to try that one more time now that you know what we're doing. So either your knees are bent or your knees are long. Press the feet and ankles into the floor. Flex the feet. Press out through the heels of the feet. Feel that integrity in the inner thigh. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, draw the ribs toward each other. Tone the core. Maintain that as you slowly reach the arms up overhead, looking for balances, looking for the arms to move at the same speed, slowly. Once you get to that sweet spot, just notice if your back is arching, try to keep pressing the belly down so you're not arching the spine, and see if the thumbs touch at the same time. And if there's been any shift in your legs or feet. If not, then you're probably pretty balanced, but if So, and then slowly bring the arms back up and down. Good. You should feel a lot of work happening in that core. Whew. All right. All right. That is that. Okay. Now, bend your knees. Take a breath. Allow the spine to release. Take your arms out to a T. And we'll take that left ankle and place it on top of the right knee. Flex the foot to support the knee. Slowly rock side to side. And now a little posterior pelvic tilt. Come to center and flatten out your lumbar spine. Flatten out your lumbar spine and see, at the same time, press your left leg away from you. So flatten out the lumbar spine, little posterior pelvic tilt, draw the belly in, and press the left leg away from you. It's not a dramatic move. It's a subtle move. You should feel something in your left outer hip. All right, come back to neutral pelvis. So release that flattening of the lumbar spine and start to twist towards the right as you put your left foot on the floor. So the left foot's going to be supported by the floor. Shoulders are releasing toward the earth, and take your eye gaze over your left shoulder. Follow your breath. All right, uncross your legs, meaning don't lift them up, just untangle them and lift the top leg followed by the bottom leg just to take it out of the lower back. Rock your knees side to side, realign the spine. And then we're going to go to the other side. So right ankle on right below the left knee, above the left knee. Flatten that lumbar spine and then press, use your muscle energy to press the knee away from you. Use your breath, press the knee away from you. You should feel a sensation in the right outer hip. You don't even need to lift the legs up. This is a different, once you lift the legs up, it changes everything. It's more of a stretch in the glute. We're trying to really get as a beautiful stretch isolated in this left pelvis, in this right pelvis. So just keep pressing the knee away, not with your hands. Use your muscle energy to open up through that knee. Keep the lumbar spine flat. Nice breath in here. Arms come out to the side, shoulders release to the earth, and then slowly take your right sole of your foot and press it down onto the floor. So it's just a gentle twist, a supported twist with your right hip lifted, very subtle twist, and look over your right shoulder. All right, untangle your legs, lift the top knee followed by the bottom knee, and then slowly bringing the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a hug, massage your lower back. Go in circles, or if you have that SI instability, row, or if you like to row and better than circles, do what feels good. So this is your prana response to what your body still needs. Go ahead and invite your body to move in whatever way feels good for you. If you want to do a little hamstring stretches, sting the legs up toward the sky. Good. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and settle into Shavasana and just take a second to notice how your body feels, where you might be still holding on to tightness or any tension, and just use your breath to soften those places and spaces.
I would like to write a poem about the world that has in it nothing fancy, but it seems impossible. With that sense of awe and wonder, come back to your beautiful breath. Enjoy a full, wondrous breath in. Take a long, slow, relaxing breath out. And get a moment to appreciate the wonder of your body, of what it can do for you, your yoga practice. As you begin reawakening it by wiggling fingers and wiggling toes, circling your wrists and ankles, turning the head gently side to side. Taking your time to bring the knees up to the chest or just bending the knees, rocking the knees side to side until you finally end up on your favorite side, and pause there for a minute. And any gratitude for yourself for taking care of you today. And pressing the hands into the earth, use that to support your low back as you come to a comfortable seat. If the hands are available, bringing the hands together in front of the heart. Just thank you so much for practicing with me today, allowing me to facilitate your practice. Remember to engage, then lift. If you get nothing else out of class today, just being mindful of that before you pick anything up. So know that all the light and love in my heart honors that same light and love in each of yours. And something I used to say that for some reason it just went away, but I want to bring it back. And that's remember to live knowing you are beloved. Now bow your head and honor your own practice, and then blink your eyes open and greet your Sangha with namaste. Namaste, everybody. Have a great day. We have 1 week left in this session, so I'm going to work on our gut. That's our last body part we'll work on for this session. And if you have any suggestions,